Every trowel in your shed claims it won't bend, won't rust, and won't snap on the first rock it hits. Most of them are lying. I went through 5 hand trowels actually sold on Amazon right now, from the cheap ones that'll rust if you forget to dry them off, to a forged steel tool built to outlive you. Number 5 is the one you'll probably want to avoid buying twice. Number 5 is the Corona CT 3314 Premium Stainless Steel ComfortGEL Garden Trowel. The blade is stainless steel with graduated depth markings stamped into it, and it's got a built-in bag ripper on one edge, which sounds like a gimmick until you're standing over a sealed bag of potting soil with nothing else sharp on hand. The handle uses Corona's ComfortGEL material with a finger guard, and the whole tool runs 13.5 inches overall with a 7-inch handle section. The catch here is that Corona also sells a nearly identical sounding CT 3214 ComfortGEL trowel, and the two aren't the same tool. The model number is what tells them apart, not the ComfortGEL branding, so read the fine print on whichever listing you're looking at. Beyond that mix-up risk, this is a well-rounded, mid-range trowel that adds a couple of genuinely practical features: the depth gauge and the bag ripper, without pushing you into forged steel pricing. That brings us to the halfway point, and I want to be upfront that the back half of this list gets a lot more serious. We're talking forged steel, purpose-built root cutters, and one trowel that's basically indestructible by design. If your soil fights back, keep watching, because the picks from here up are the ones actually built for that fight. Number 4 is the Fiskars Ergo Garden Trowel, and this is probably the single most recommended everyday trowel on the market for a reason. The head is cast aluminum, which Fiskars states resists rust and is built not to snap off during digging, and the handle uses their soft grip ergonomic design specifically to cut down on hand and wrist fatigue during long sessions. According to Fiskars' own spec sheet, the blade measures 5.5 inches long and just under 3 inches wide, and the whole thing is backed by a lifetime warranty. The honest catch is that cast aluminum, while strong, behaves differently than steel when you really lean into it. Instead of bending, it's more prone to denting or chipping if you're using it to pry against a rock the way you might with the forged steel picks later in this list. It's also worth knowing this is sold both as a single trowel and in a 6-pack under a separate listing, so check the quantity before you order. For general digging, planting, and everyday garden chores, this is about as safe and comfortable a recommendation as you'll find. At number 3, the Radius Garden 100 Ergonomic Aluminum Hand Trowel. What sets this apart is the patented natural radius grip. The handle is curved rather than straight, which changes the angle your wrist sits at while you dig, and takes a noticeable amount of stress off your hand. It's been member-tested and recommended by the National Home Gardening Club, and it's frequently pointed to as a good option for gardeners managing arthritis or carpal tunnel symptoms, since the die-cast aluminum blade is lightweight and won't rust. The catch is twofold. First, this trowel is sold under at least 3 separate color-specific listings: green, blue, and red, and pricing can vary between them, so it pays to compare before assuming they're identical. Second, like the Fiskars Ergo, this is an aluminum blade, so it's not the tool you reach for when you're trying to cut through actual roots. That job belongs to a pick further up this list. If hand or wrist comfort is your main priority, though, this is the strongest option here for that specific need. Before we get to the final 2, here's the thing nobody tells you about heavy-duty trowels. Most of them are only heavy-duty in the marketing copy. The last 2 picks on this list are where that phrase actually means something. Number 2 is the DeWit potting trowel. DeWit hand forges this blade from tempered Swedish boron steel, and it's shaped with an extra-large curved head, specifically designed to hold more soil and prevent it from spilling off the sides while you're scooping. Genuinely useful if you do a lot of container or raised bed work. The handle is ash wood, sourced from FSC-certified forests. The whole tool runs 11 inches, and DeWit backs it with a lifetime guarantee. The catch is that DeWit sells several other tools under similar boron steel branding: the Rock and Root Trowel, the Badass Trowel, the Forged Scoop Trowel, and they are genuinely different blade shapes at different price points, so make sure the listing you're clicking says potting trowel specifically. The wood handle also needs the basic care any hardwood tool needs, meaning don't leave it soaking wet for days at a time. This is the closest thing to a true heirloom tool on this entire list, the kind of trowel that gets handed down instead of thrown out. And at number 1, the Radius Garden Root Slayer Trowel, model 16011. This is the only trowel on this list actually designed to do something the others can't: cut through roots instead of just working around them. The blade is powder-coated carbon steel, shaped with an inverted V-tip and lined with ripsaw-style serrations on both edges, specifically engineered to saw through root-bound soil and compacted ground. It carries the same natural radius grip ergonomic handle as the Radius Garden 100, so you're not sacrificing comfort to get that cutting power. According to the manufacturer's spec sheet, the blade runs 6 3/4 inches long, 3.5 inches wide, with a total tool length of 12 3/4 inches, and it's backed by Radius Garden's lifetime guarantee. The catch worth knowing is that this trowel is also sold bundled together with the larger Root Slayer shovel under a separate listing that costs meaningfully more. If you only want the hand trowel, make sure you're ordering the standalone 16011 listing and not the bundle. The powder coating on the cutting edge will also wear down gradually if you're sawing through roots constantly, which is just the nature of that kind of use. But for taking on the jobs that stop every other trowel on this list cold, this is the one that earns the top spot. So here's how I'd actually break this down by what you're doing in the garden. If you're dealing with arthritis or wrist pain, go with the Radius Garden 100 at number 4. If you want something that will genuinely never break on you, the Bully Tools all-steel trowel at number 3 is built for exactly that. If you do a lot of potting or container work, the DeWit potting trowel's oversized scoop at number 2 is worth the price. And if your soil is full of roots and rocks and every other trowel you've owned has bent or snapped, the Radius Garden Root Slayer at number 1 is the only tool on this list actually designed for that fight. All 5 links are in the description below in the same order as this countdown, so you can go straight to the one that fits what you're dealing with. If this saved you from buying the wrong trowel twice, a like helps this video reach more people stuck making the same decision, and subscribe if you want more of these breakdowns before you buy.